Good morning. This is Joe Cox Jr. with Making Life Simple after living in this narcissistic world, helping you get through it, understand what we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. As you know, this channel is very new. I just started it aggressively, probably in the last 6 weeks or so. I want to reach out and let you know how much our subscription rate is skyrocketing. So it's showing me that there is a need for this. I'm trying to make sure I do a great job and give you guys the information you need. I also want to give my gratitude and appreciation for all the comments that are come in. Um, I grew up feeling like I'm not even the one that a mother could love. And today at 60 years old, my mother's still alive and she still can't love me. My wife has now shown me unconditional God's love, but I'm going to tell you the messages and the comments that I'm getting are very powerful. Um, they're very kind, and I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you guys for subscribing and listening to these. But give me comments. I want to make sure I'm answering your questions and the things that we're talking about really are helping you make a change. The changes that you want to become your best self. And remember, you were born your perfect you. It's your job and your purpose in life to become the best you. That's a very fundamental purpose of life. When I used to ask people all the time growing up, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? Nobody could give me a simple answer. And this channel is dedicated to just let's make it as simple as we can. And our world has gotten very complex these days. But once we make it simple, easy to understand, easy to apply, then it all makes sense and we wind up having a much better quality of life. So, what we're going to talk about today is really where all of our problems come from. Of course, we know 99% of all our problems come from some source of narcissism somewhere, right? But what I want to make sure is that it's a most of the time it goes back to how these energies make us feel about ourselves. I grew up feeling like I'm the one that not even a mother could love, for instance. So what did that give me? And I believe a lot of people can relate to this. It's that lack of worthiness, worthlessness, guilt, shame, that can go into anger. I believe that most of these kids that grow up very angry, it's because they didn't get the foundation structure that they needed, the nurturing, the 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 love that a person's soul needs. There's some type of breakdown somewhere. This channel is not about blaming anybody, but it is important for their parents to know that they are the source for everything of that child and how they feel. There's another channel I watched this week, and it was about estranged parents. And I responded to the lady, and I'm like, why? My response to her was, I believe that every child has an instinct, natural feeling of wanting to be close to their parent. They have a natural tendency to want that connection. Kids don't just up and leave. So is my thought is that if you have that connection as a child growing up, I don't see where that connection, we sometimes call it a cord, a healthy cord, to those children to keep that connection. Kids need that. I know people in my office that guy's 50, 60 years old and his dad's in his 80s. They still go hunting, fishing, and do stuff, and he takes time. But I've noticed these type of people seem to do much better in the business world because they have that balance. And this is what this whole channel is about. It's about you being able to find that balance. Well, how do we get the balance? We don't even know what it's made up of. So this is a little bit what I'm going to talk about on this today. Is that it's all about finding wholeness, being a whole person, feeling whole, feeling balanced. Once you are whole of mind, body, and spirit, those are the three areas. And I just wrote a book about it. It's in the description if you'd like to order it. It's got a guarantee behind it. On this channel, I don't try to upsell you anything, no courses, anything. This is just about helping you. And the book has a 100% money back guarantee. If you buy it, you don't think it changes your life, mail it directly to me, the author, and I'll give you 100% of your money back. I've done very well in real estate. It's been very good to me through the years. And when I started this channel, yes, there is cost associated, but I wanted my main point behind this channel is to change lives, to give you basic information that can make dramatic changes in your life. Just little steps. You can make so many changes. Like, for instance, understanding how to get balance. Most people have no idea. So I've just said, okay, it's about wholeness. Okay, that makes sense, right? We need to become a whole person. Um, so what happens when we feel like we're not a whole person? Okay, I found out through the years I didn't, after a traumatic experience, and that's where I went through Dark Night of the Soul for 12 years. And I'll go into more details about the Dark Night of the Soul and what I experienced on another video. But what I what I realized is that during that time, I didn't even feel like it was me. Something, it's not that I was gone out and did crimes or anything like that. I didn't feel like who I was and what I was growing. When I got out of high school, I left home at 16 and moved in with my grandmother. And that was a period for a couple of years there that I started really gaining and feeling like I was getting myself together. And then, I got re-involved trying to make things right with my mother, and everything just went to hell again. And I wound up going into a suicidal depression and just a lot of different things. And I got into college. I was laughed about, told I was too stupid to go to college, and just on and on. So, and this comes directly from my mother. So it's really difficult when you have your caretaker, your bio caretakers, and even adoptive parents. I'm also getting a lot of feedback from people that who are adopted, that how much narcissism was involved in that. I had no idea. I thought this is where we think how the world works one way, and then we realize. I just thought for somebody to adopt somebody, that must be a lot of love involved. Well, what I realized, it has a lot to do with a lot of control. They want somebody or something to control. And so that's where it all goes back to. You live one of two ways in life. You either live from the mind and the ego and want to control everything outside of you. That's where the narcissism, low consciousness level, that's where that's found. Or you can live in the spirit. You can live in the heart. You can live in a way that you can find the balance to where, yes, you're a giving person, but you also need to make sure you put yourself first, because you can't give what you don't have for yourself. And I was always made to feel guilty about anything I did for myself, even though I noticed my parents always taking care of themselves. And but it's that psychological um, mixer in your mind that they their their mind or their words and their uh, actions don't match. That is a big red flag on anything in life. If you get around anybody in life and their words and their actions are totally opposite, or they don't uh, mesh together, that's a red flag. That's a good narcissist red flag right there. Chances are that's what you're dealing with. So if you notice people that are have a lot of ethics behind them, that have integrity, people that will do what they say, those people are golden. And I found that to be so rare, even when I was growing up, and I find it to be even more rare today, which is kind of sad in a way, but at the same time, we've got a lot more information today that we didn't have back in the 80s and 90s, late 70s, 80s, and 90s when I was growing up and going through all this. But what really set me out of balance was not having any type of grounding, no stability of who I was, because I always had been told and treated that I was expendable. I knew that, even though I knew I was expendable, but I always try to prove myself. I'm going to prove myself worthy of love. And that's what I kept doing for my mother, because I had this deep part of me that I wanted my mother to love me. And going back, I realized that she does not love herself. So how in the world is she ever going to love me? When somebody let's put it this way, a strong person will build others up. Somebody that loves themselves will take joy in watching somebody rise up. Narcissists don't have that. They operate from shame, guilt, worthlessness. Their consciousness is so low. That's why you say they have no conscience about what they do, because their consciousness level is so low. They do something. They get their energy of life, what we call an energy vampire. They suck the life out of you, all your goodness and all the good things you have to offer. That's why a higher consciousness person needs to have the the awareness. The gift of discernment is a beautiful thing. As you come up in consciousness, you will definitely um, be able to pick people out and say, "Hey, that person is not so good to be around." This is another thing I learned. I thought that if I ever saw something bad in somebody, I was judging them. No, see, that was all these little things, these interpretations and nuances in life that if we don't understand how they work, that's where our emotions run crazy on us. Our operating as feelings and emotions. That's where a lot of narcissists pretty much they grow up with feelings and emotions as children. Narcissists never get into uh, the proper adulthood. They're immature adults, basically. They're still operating at emotions and feelings and never get into reasoning and critical thinking skills, logical skills, that sort of thing. Sorry about that. I think I bought the camera. But they never get into that kind of stuff. They never grow into that. They are very stagnant. The only way they grow is zapping something from somebody good. So, um, bottom line is, we're going to talk more about finding your wholeness, finding your balance in life. And once you find that wholeness, you'll be able to pick out somebody. And what I was saying a while ago is that I used to think I was judging people. If I saw something they were doing wrong, I thought I was judging them. There's a difference between observing and judging. When I observe something and I say, "Hey, that's not the way that's not right to me," I'm not sitting there saying, "No, you shouldn't do that." This is where I think a lot gets missed too. We're too busy sometimes thinking what's right and wrong. And what I've learned is learning at a higher level is you just live in truth. What is truth? When you live in truth, truth never criticizes. Truth is what it is. You don't have to defend truth. You don't have to, and you know, truth is what it is. You really, literally don't have to do anything to defend it or support it. Whereas lies, too many people are going around trying to defend themselves. So somebody, for instance, somebody makes you feel bad about yourself. Rather than feeling bad about yourself, go back and analyze that. Why am I feeling bad about myself? They said that I was worthless. Well, think about it this way. Only people that feel worthy will ever send out the energy that you're worthy. That's where we get that word projection. People will project how they feel about themselves. Okay? So if people are going around calling you names or downgrading you or whatever, you you're in control of how you respond to everything and everybody in life. My goal of this channel is to help you understand you're in control of your life, and that is key. Once you understand that you have control of everything inside of you that creates your wholeness, but we really have little to no control of everything on the outside of us. Okay? And we're going to talk more about that. And in my book, I talk about that as well. So I'm going to cut it for today. I just want to let you know down here on the property again, beautiful fall day. It's about 62 degrees Fahrenheit. And we've got overcast, so it makes it really good for recording. I'm hoping the rain's going to hold off, but I think we've got a little bit of rain coming in and the temperature's going to start dropping. But just want to hope you enjoy the scenery here. All this is real. And I watched some of them, and it almost seemed like it was a veil or uh, a green screen or something I'd put up, and it's not. This is the real thing behind me. So I come down here to get my serenity and peace. And I actually think I do better recordings when I'm down here as well. And I think people enjoy the scenery behind me. So if I just sit here and be quiet, you can hear all the birds, and um, sometimes we hear woodpeckers, owls, you name it. So, and this is south of Atlanta, Georgia. It's middle Georgia area. So this is where I'm coming from. But I just want to send out my love to all of you. Hopefully you've gained something from this video. Like and subscribe if you feel like I've earned it. Just know that I'm doing these videos from my heart, and I started these, aggressively 6 to 8 weeks ago. Trying to start putting them out every day, talking on another subject, and the subscription rate just skyrocketed. So I'm like, okay, I do feel like there's a need here. But I want to make sure I'm answering the questions. Like I said, I'm new to this. I hopefully anything that you see that I could do better. I'm very much open to constructive criticism. I want to do a great job for you guys to help you grow. But just know from my heart to yours that you're loved and that you have greatness, and we're going to help you find that greatness. From Life Made Simple, helping you get through this narcissistic world. Blessings. Bye bye.